All right, we're ready to dig in. We're going to be talking about communication needs. We're going to talk about this DISC style. We're going to talk about the needs of each of the different communication styles. So earlier today, we talked about the D style, that dominant style. That dominant style has a primary need for achievement, which means someone who has that style is only going to call you if they need something. They're not going to call you to chit-chat. My brother Andy, he's got this style. Like, he only calls if he needs something. And that's totally okay. An influencer, has a different need. They have a need for recognition, but it's not, ta-da, it's me, superstar. That recognition is recognition of ideas. So oftentimes, we will see this in a meeting or something where somebody goes, hey, I have this idea, but nobody at the table listens. And pretty soon, hey, I have this idea. I have this idea. It's a need for recognition from that influence style. The S's have a need for relationship. So those of you out there that have that reserved nature, but you're very people-oriented, you have a strong need for relationship. And on teams, you're really like the lead in a stained glass window. Oftentimes, you don't necessarily shine within your team, but you're the person that keeps that whole stained glass picture together. You keep your team together. You glue them together. It's that need for relationship. The C's, the conscientious group, they have a primary need for accuracy. So they're going to Google everything you say. They're going to check it out themselves. They just want to make sure. Sometimes tangibly, they have to touch it themselves to believe it. And that's their primary need. The challenge becomes when we're working across quadrants. You know, we've got the D's working with the S's. And so what ends up happening, actually it's the D and the S here. The D is working with the S. And the D has a need for achievement. The S has a need for relationship. So while the D calls up and says, hey, can you get to this project done for me? The S says, and how are you today? Right? Two totally different needs in that process. On the flip side, we've got the I's and the C's. And what happens with the I, who needs recognition of ideas, they think out loud quickly, and they process. And the C is out there going, I'm processing this, but I'm not going to say anything until I'm accurate about the answer. And so the challenge becomes between the I and the C, that the I comes along and throws out all these great ideas, and the C doesn't respond, so the I thinks, they think my idea is dumb. I better throw out another idea. And pretty soon that C is so far into ideas and thinking that they have no chance of responding. So we run into these clashes all the time, things where people bang heads within our workplaces, and it's oftentimes just that we're approaching it from a different needs perspective. So we're going to talk about how do we adapt our needs to the needs of others? How do we communicate in a way that we're heard more effectively? So that's our game plan. I'm looking forward to it.